People always ask me why I'm not scared of van life, and I want to say it's not that I'm never scared, it's that I know that van life isn't the root of that fear. For anyone scared of getting into van life because of safety, I want to start this video by saying, I know that not being a van lifer does not guarantee my safety. 4 years ago, I was assaulted while walking outside my apartment building one night. I wasn't even alone. A group of guys purposely separated my friend and I so that one of them could assault me. It changed my life forever. My point in telling you this is because it doesn't matter whether you live in a house, a flat, or a boat, there will always be things to fear. But we can't let that paralyze us. We can take back that power and educate ourselves and prevent it from happening. I took that a step farther by educating people online about safety, and I bulk buy safety tools to provide to women at the most affordable price possible, making educational videos online on safety, self-defense, consent. I even started attending rallies to speak against Title IX, making donations to women's shelters, creating safety and consent education for schools to stop and discuss the problems at the roots, and all the while becoming someone who knew how to react in a safety situation, who could defend myself in a fight, and who knew how to de-escalate one. All of this so that I could feel safe, so that I can travel. I can't guarantee that I will never be in a scary situation no matter where I live. It could happen in a house, in a grocery store, and it's most likely to happen by someone you know and trust. What I can do, what I can control, is properly preparing myself.
Something down slowly. The thing that I'm not going to do today is walk around my van and show you every single safety measure I have and where they're located, because that's dumb, right? Let that be the first safety tip of the video today. Don't show on the internet all of your safety stuff, and where it's located and what measures. It's just like being like, hey thief, here's a jigsaw puzzle for you to figure out. We're not going to do that today. One more thing, I promise. So I am giving a speech on safety at the Project VanLife's Virtual VanLife Summit. It is completely free and it is online, so you can attend from anywhere in the world. I will leave the information in the description if you're interested. Check it out. All right, number 1, lock your doors. And I don't just mean lock your doors, yeah. But having external extra locks, and do your research, because not all of those external locks are created equal, right? So I've literally seen some videos of people adding locks like slick locks and then literally just being sawed off. Lock option number 2 is putting something like gate locks on the interior of your van. So even if they do, let's say, saw off your lock because they're literally mentally insane, they're gonna open that door and there's gonna be another lock and they're gonna be like, what the heck? Lock option number 3 would be on the slider on the side of your door. People literally drill a hole in there and then put an extra lock on that. So having that drilled hole and then putting an extra lock in there, that way if they do open your door and try to slide it, it's gonna hit that lock, another extra step. If you wanna be super extra, you can put them all the way down the line. Just kidding, don't do that, that'd be literally insane. Lock mechanism number 4. This one isn't exactly a lock, it's an extra step to help a lock that you already have. So there's this trick where you can there's a door handle and you can use a flat-headed screwdriver and pop it off, and they can get into your car real easy. It's like their magic wand, and they're like bippity boppity boo, open sesame, and boom, their door handle's off. They can get in your vehicle real quick, real easy. And you can stop this by putting a metal plate in there. Okay, 5, 6, and 7 would be a steering wheel lock, a foot pedal lock, and literally sometimes people just remove their steering wheel. They legitimately pull off their steering wheel when they leave, which is effective. So the next option is you could get a really long chain and put it between the door handles of both sides and then have that lock in the middle. That wind really got me. And then when someone's trying to open the door, it'll just pull that chain. And even if not, if they see that chain, it could deter them even the same, right? They're like, whoa, that person has some serious security in there. I don't even want to know what kind of booby traps they have in the back. So that long chain with the lock in the middle is also an option, as well as if you get a chain and lock your steering wheel to that same door handle and have the two together, the way they're pulling against the door to the steering wheel as well. The next one is so computery, I'm going to just straight up read it. So you can also get an OBD port lock, which is a high carbon steel cage that you can open with a key, and basically it covers your computer port to the vehicle, so the thief can't access it to override it and take control of the vehicle. And they'd actually need an angle grinder and a lot of time and a lot of skill, and just would really help a lot, honestly. Good investment. Hey, it's me from the future. I forgot to talk about locks for your fuel caps. There's actually been numerous times when people have woken up to someone actually siphoning their gas. So to avoid that, you can get a lock for your gas tank. So the next kind of category of van life safety would be an alarm system. So in my research, there were kind of 3 programs that really stood out to me as common amongst van lifers and highly recommended. So I actually kind of want to break down each of these systems really quickly. They're not sponsored or anything like that. This is my 4th YouTube video. We're not there yet. So starting with Viper alarms. Viper alarms is a system that you can actually remote start or remote kill your engine with from their programming on your phone, which means if someone steals your vehicle, you can actually cut the power to the engine, like completely, which would be pretty crazy. My question is, if they're driving on the highway, does it cut it off then? Like, does your car just stop in the middle of the highway? I don't know. I have no idea. I would look into that. I don't know. It's almost worse, you know? It's like, if you get it back, it won't be in one piece. I actually also saw some negative reviews talking about how the security system sensor was actually a little too sensitive, and sometimes things like a leaf would fall on their vehicle and it would actually set the sensor off, and so it was just kind of too much for some people, and they had a hard time finding that right sensor sensitivity level. Alright, so the next system is called Simply Safe, and it's a 24/7 professional monitoring system that costs less than $1 a day, and it also monitors against leaks, floods, fires, and more, and you actually get a message on your phone the moment an alarm goes off, which can be super helpful. Especially for me, when I'm out in the city, all day long I just have anxiety about if someone's breaking into my vehicle, so having programming like that helps calm my anxiety in that way, because I can know without actually being there or going back to check if my vehicle's okay or not.
Okay, we're testing out our new Simply Safe. Thank you, Chris. All we have is 1 alarm up front. We will have some more in the back, and then as well as a shatterproof sensor.
And a camera. 5 seconds, get out of the house! Go, go, go!
All right, let's see what kind of alarm.
Hey, this looks like a nice bus. I think I'm gonna break in. It wants me to enter the pin as if
Okay.
I just came in, but I'm not gonna.
Okay. How long?
I don't know. This is a lot of time for someone to steal some stuff.
Yeah. Is there a different way to mess with that setting?
There might be. Oh, I'm looking around.
Well, okay, so everything's gone now. Oh.
I would recommend looking into each of these companies specifically and looking for what you want and what would help you feel safer in your vehicle, but they are all really great options that a lot of van lifers have talked about and loved in their vehicles. So this next alarm system actually doesn't even have to be real. Any kind of blinking light that's on your dashboard, on your window up front, that someone walking by is going to see a blinking light, is going to say that's a security system, is helpful. So that's kind of going into this idea of it can be fake and it can still be effective. So even if you have a sticker on your window that says, I have an ADT security system, you're being watched, it works magic, right? Next, I want to talk about one of the most vulnerable areas of your vehicle, which would be your windows. And there are kind of 3 options I want to talk about here. One would be a anti-shatter alarm. So if someone did shatter your window, an alarm would be set off. Number 2 would be an anti-shatter film that you can put over top of your windows and would actually make them thicker and harder to break. And number 3, with these long windows people put in the back, I don't have any because I knew they were a vulnerable point and I didn't want to risk it. Also, I have this weird fear of like clowns, and my brain just kind of believes that if I had windows, they would just come up and press their face against the window. So I don't have windows because of my irrational clown fear. Anyway, I digress. So having these long bars over them, that way if they did break them, they couldn't crawl through. So the next category of safety would be a security camera of some sort. So whether that is a dash camera and you're protecting yourself if you get in an accident, that way you have proof, or if you have cameras on all 4 sides that you can watch from inside your vehicle.
Security cameras are finally up. They are the Solar 4 from AutoVox. I set it in, leave it on all the time mode. That way I just can have eyes on the outside of the van if I need to. It was ridiculously easy to set up because they're wireless. I have magnets. This one over there is connected to the actual van. This one is connected to this galvanized metal. And solar, each one has an antenna. That one's actually an antenna connected to a cable, so it can be placed anywhere. I don't ever have to charge them because of the solar, which is perfect for me. It's a backup camera system, but I tell you, I think it's going to work really well for security instead.
8 months on the road, here are some of our must-haves. Number 1, I have not seen anyone else with a Ring doorbell in their caravan, but you should get one.
One more thing with the video camera would be that look into if you need Wi-Fi or internet in order for that video camera to operate, because if you do, you need to, look into making sure you have internet and Wi-Fi. As well as there's options like things called the Alfred app, and a friend of mine told me about it, and it was super cool. What he does is he has his phone set up onto his video camera system, and he can monitor his van from his phone. So there's like an extra phone that watches and monitors like on like Skype, basically. I don't think Skype's still a thing. I think Skype's gone. Oh my goodness, aging myself. Whew. Like on like a Zoom call or whatever kind of call where you can connect with that phone that's in the vehicle watching the video cameras. Because video cameras that you have like all four sides don't go to your phone. They just go to that screen in the vehicle. But if you don't have video cameras, you can always park underneath someone else's. So when I'm in Walmart and I see a security camera, I'm just like, I'm gonna park myself under here today, because if anything happens, it's on their security camera. The next sort of component to van life safety would be some kind of motion detector. So whether that is something that's inside of your vehicle and it's a camera and it will alert you if there's motion, or if it's a motion light outside. If you're at a campground and someone walks too close to your vehicle, the light will go on and possibly scare them away. So the next kind of component to van life safety would be some kind of GPS tracker. And I do want to say there are programs and things thieves can easily buy off of programs like Amazon that can actually stop your GPS tracker from working. So while I do recommend things like, putting up a fake security sticker or a security light, saying that you have a GPS tracker might actually backfire on you, because then a thief knows to make sure to use their GPS tracking stopping system, whatever they're called. And while I do want to talk about how there are systems to stop GPS trackers, I do want to also say that I am not in any way discouraging the use of GPS trackers. There are so many instances that I know of with someone who has gotten their vehicle stolen and has recovered it because of a GPS tracker. So absolutely do not let that deter you, please. And these systems don't have to be complicated. They can be an Apple AirTag, they can be a tile. And while you put them somewhere in your vehicle so you can find your vehicle, I would also recommend putting one on like a set of car keys. That way, if you're out hiking and you lose your car keys, you have a way to be able to GPS find those. Also, I want to say that systems like an Apple AirTag actually requires that it's near an iPhone of some sort for it to be able to hook up and send you that GPS signal. So look into the GPS system that you choose and look up what the requirements are for it to be able to send you the location. Do you need internet? Does it need Wi-Fi? What does it need? All right, so the last kind of component of safety in this section that I want to talk about is this concept of faking it. So maybe you're getting a big magnet for the side of your vehicle that says you're a dog washing service, or the one that I hear recommended the most is like a chemical kind of service, where people are going to be like, oh, there's chemicals in that van. Not only is there nothing for me to steal, it's a dangerous thing for me to steal from, so I don't want to mess with that van. So you've been blessed now. I'm procrastinating. So the next kind of category I want to go into is talking about safety when picking a location to park at night. So a great benefit to using apps like iOverlander or using allsaves.com to check reviews of Walmarts is that you can see what other van lifers or car campers or RVers or schooliers, or I don't know if that's actually called schooliers, what other people who have slept there before say about it. So while you are searching up a parking spot, you can also search up the crime rates and statistics of that area. So it might seem like a cute little town, but it might be not so cute after dark. So you can just check that up on the internet. Another way to increase your safety is to not drive at night, where maybe you can't see obstacles as well. There might be drunk drivers on the road. It might be hard to see animals, just kind of to avoid those kind of issues that come up when you're driving at night. Even if you're just tired when you're driving, I mean, this is your home. Anything happens to that, like, you are screwed in the nicest way possible. So when you're driving, making sure you're driving at safe times. Also, keep an eye out for weather alerts and for floods. Tornadoes, fires, hail, getting caught in any of those can make a serious issue for your van. If there is a storm, don't pick a spot to wait out near a tree or a power line, and always park out of the way of tidal waters. I literally saw a video last week where someone parked too close to the tidal waters and they woke up with their van like in water. So don't do that either. So once you're at the actual spot you're going to stay, make sure to park in a way that you can get out of that spot easily if anything happens and you need to go in a rush. Make sure that there is a clear path to your driver's seat so that you can also leave quickly. Your keys and safety devices should be at your arm's length distance. That way you can wake up and go if you need to. And two kind of randomer tips. Think about trailer sway and weight distribution, because if you hit ice and your vehicle isn't weighted correctly and you have like all of your weight that you put your fridge and your water tanks and everything else on this side of your vehicle and not this side, then it's going to kind of lean in this direction. It's really not going to help if you hit ice, you get in an accident, whatever. Your vehicle's going to have like a tip towards this way, and you don't want that. And number 2 is make a list of the things you should do before you start actually driving, because there can be a lot of different safety issues there. If you leave a knife on the counter and you hit the brakes and it shoots up to the front and stabs you or your partner in the back of the head, that was a horrible visual. Let's not go there anymore. Other bad things that could be happening are if you don't close up your max air fan and it's open, and then you know your clearance of your vehicle and you go under a short clearance and it takes your max air fan. Not great. Knowing your weight, knowing your clearance is also very important. So those are just a few other kind of random safety things. I took a break. One, my heater turned off, so I couldn't feel my fingers. So I needed to get that back. But I also needed to get gas in order to turn my heater back on. It was a whole thing. But you can only like sit and talk to yourself and like to your camera for so long before you start to feel like a little insane. And it may have only been like 15 minutes for you, but it was like 2 hours for me. I'm getting used to this. I'm learning. I'm getting better. Hi, I'm back. I'm rejuvenated. I had some Captain Crunch. I warmed my fingers up. I can feel them again. I put on sweatpants. So we are good to go. And I kind of want to take this next section. The point of this video was to make it as comprehensive and include every single last thing I could think of. So this next section, I think, is a little bit self-explanatory at times. I want to read through it real quick, but we're still going to do it. All right, so this first section is mainly for solo female travelers, but men, it works as well for you. So putting work boots on the outside of your vehicle, putting 2 chairs out instead of 1. If you're at a campground, that way if people come up, they see as if 2 people are there if they're only seeing a woman at the time. Never say you are alone and lie. It's really sad how many women, not just van lifers, wear fake wedding rings because of those kind of situations. In your front seats, if you don't have window covers up, don't put just girly things in there that's going to make it look like you're a solo female traveler. Put some manly things up there, or don't just put girly things up there. Also, never just leave valuables sitting out in your front seat, right? Like, you don't want to have anything that's going to attract people wanting to break in the first place. When posting pictures of your travels online, never post the location of which you are at until you've left that spot. Share your location and travel plans with someone, and you can use a satellite messenger to contact people to let them know where you are, that you're okay if you don't have internet in a certain location. Keep your phone charged, and if you can't, have an emergency backup way to charge your phone. Don't be gaudy, don't be drawing attention to yourself in a negative way that would make people see, oh hey, they have lots of cool stuff I could steal tonight. Watch what name you use for your Wi-Fi. If your name is just like Barbara Walters on Wi-Fi, or if it's solo female traveler, people are gonna know that you're alone. Have a secret code word with someone. That way, if you're in a situation where you feel you cannot speak openly, you know, God forbid you're kidnapped, etc., having a dog is a great safety tool if you are willing to go the extra mile to make sure that the dog is also safe in your vehicle, which means temperature, going on walks, having their own space in the vehicle. All of those things are really important as well. And finally, the number one thing you will hear from any van lifer when you ask them about safety: trust your gut. If you feel like something is off, trust it, believe it. That gut feeling is there for a reason. You don't feel safe somewhere, leave. Get a new parking spot. It's not worth it. You're not gonna be able to sleep anyway. Drive away, do what you need to do so that you can feel comfortable. And here is a full list of safety items you should have in your van: a portable air compressor, traction mats, jumper cables, flares, heat or fire blankets, matches, flashlight or USB headlamp, an extra jerry can for gas, snow chains, a backup power source, heavy-duty leak-proof tape, that way if you get a leak, you can fix it quickly before if you don't have time to fix it right that moment, a carbon monoxide detector, smoke alarm, fire extinguisher, a first aid kit, burn safety, bug spray, sunscreen, and a water filter. Also, it's really important to consider propane safety as well as prevention for mold from moisture and condensation as well in your van build. Staying up to date on maintenance can not only save you from a serious accident that could cause you a serious injury, but also save you from having to be on the side of a road, outside of your vehicle, trying to fix this problem, talking to AAA. That's a really unsafe situation. Not only are there cars passing by if it's a highway, but anyone can stop over on the side. There has been stories and cases of people getting murdered, you know, from that kind of situation. And so staying up to date on maintenance and understanding your vehicle can be really important. And finally, I want to get into physical safety. Of course, if you are comfortable, you can absolutely carry a gun. If you're not comfortable with guns, you could also look into options like non-lethal guns. So things like these things that I'll put on the screen here, as well as pepper spray guns, are also a great option as well. 2 things I recommend looking into would be, number 1, self-defense liability insurance, and number 2, the Castle Doctrine. The Castle Doctrine states that you can protect yourself to any means necessary if someone breaks into your home. And in some states, that includes your vehicle. I do want to say though, in some states, the Castle Doctrine doesn't even exist at all. So look into your state, whatever state you're traveling through, look into those self-defense laws so that you know if someone breaks into your car, what can you do to protect yourself? The next thing I'm going to recommend is a safety keychain or safety tools of any kind, whether that be pepper spray, a portable safety alarm, or a Cubiton. These are actually what I train people to how to use. Cubiton, it can be used to either break a window if you need to escape from some reason, if you're underwater, whatever you need to escape from, and an alarm like this can actually be used for numerous reasons. I've seen people recommend using it that if someone's attacking you, you can pull it out and put it next to their ear and it'll stun them. If you pull it, obviously people are going to be alerted, but even if you pull it and leave this keychain somewhere, even if you drop it, they take it away from you and drop it, then people know where your last location was. Also, it's a cute little flashlight. And then of course pepper spray. When I'm teaching people about how to use safety keychains, my recommendation is to always start by, if something happens, if you get scared, if someone's kind of approaching, pull the alarm first. That will hopefully scare them away. If not, you want to use pepper spray. You want to keep your arm out at a distance and spray back and forth. And say things like, if you come closer, I will pepper spray you. I will defend myself at any means necessary. Whatever you are trying to say to back down the situation, you never want to actually fight, you just want to get away. And then last resort would be the Cubiton, which would be actually if you're fighting someone, if you have kind of like noodle arms, you're not a great fighter, kind of like I am, like you should learn self-defense because you can learn how to use your noodle arms effectively. It's just so important. It's been so great being able to learn that. But a Cubiton would be able to help you use pressure points. And this thing hurts if you put some pressure on it. So it kind of just adds to the self-defense that you can have. So super cute. Super adorable. It matches my aesthetic, as you can tell. So yeah, they are $25 on my website. You can buy them as a full piece or individual. You don't have to buy them from me. I honestly do not care where you buy safety tools from. I am just proud of you for watching this video and learning safety. But yeah, I don't actually sell them to make money. I sell them because safety tools aren't always affordable, and I think that's something that should be accessible to everyone. So I buy them in bulk and sell them at the minimum price possible. If you are buying safety tools, no matter where you're buying them from, Google what's legal in your state. For example, kitty knuckles are illegal in Texas, and a girl bought them and she actually a police officer arrested her from having them. So Google it first. I recommend this to someone who maybe you're not comfortable with a gun, or you have a gun and you can't take it in everywhere with you, right? Like you don't want to take it in to go shower at the gym. This is a great alternative, something that you can have just for that short walk from your car back, make you feel comfortable. I also want to say, no matter what safety route you take, you should be practicing that and making it muscle memory, especially if your fear response is to freeze. This is a big thing that I talk to women about and discuss, and they didn't realize was an issue for them until it really came up to it, which is if your fear response is to freeze in a situation, then what happens is it's hard for you to actually fight back, to speak out, to really move. It feels like you're watching what's happening from a TV screen in your mind. But having a safety tool like this, and all you have to do is press down on the button, all you have to do is pull out on a string, that really helps in that freezing kind of situation. And this is a little bit random for this topic right now, but if someone was to break in, I want you to think about if you would want to set off an alarm, a fake dog barking, or actually just use your voice. Because it's interesting, because think about when you're in just a parking lot and you hear a car alarm go off. How often are you just like, oh, someone set it off again, and you're not running over to be like, hey, what's happening? Is everyone okay? You know what I mean? Someone breaking in might hear your voice and be like, oh, I didn't know there was someone in here. I don't want to, I didn't want someone to be in here. I don't want that. And back away. They might hear a dog and be like, no, absolutely not. So think about those kind of things when you're thinking about your safety plan. Absolutely make a safety plan. Think about the situations and think about what you would do. That way in that situation, in the panic of the moment, you don't have to think about what you'll do. You already planned it out. Also, you can get a GPS tracker and you can literally wear one on your person. Mine is right here. I literally wear it all the time. You press it twice and it contacts the police and 5 people in your contacts. It's called Invisiwear, and I will absolutely link it in the description. It's that simple. I'm wearing it all the time. They make them in scrunchies. They make them in keychain form. They make them as watches. They make them in everything under the sun. It was expensive. It was like $125, but it also, you can pay monthly for it to connect to ADT and have a personal agent that will be there to contact you. You can use the app and you can call them any time of the day then. So if you're walking home and you just want to talk to someone, be like, hey, will you sit here while I walk home? I don't feel comfortable right now. You can do that. It's an amazing program. And it's always right here, which is so nice, because if anything happens, I don't have to pick up my phone. I just have to press this twice. If someone's looking at me and anything's happening, I can just press that. It looks like I'm nervous. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like I'm calling the police right now. But it would text it to the police and 5 people in my contacts, which is so nice. And of course, there's always learning self-defense and taking self-defense courses. And I really recommend doing it with someone else, because I learned when I first started learning self-defense a few years ago is that it is totally different watching a video online, practicing it by yourself, and using someone else who has a lot of arm and body strength and having them really fight you on it. Because obviously the person's going to be putting their whole entire existence on it. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be fighting for their life. So you need to be fighting for your life too. So figuring out as well, like, there are some self-defense tricks that didn't work for me in my body and where my strengths lie. And so I would try them and I'd be like, this is horrible. And it's like, it just wasn't for me specifically. So you can learn that. Don't just save videos of self-defense moves on your phone. Like, practice them. Go out and figure out if it's for you. Make it muscle memory. Classes online as well. I like, what is it called? I think it's called Gracie University, and they are a great program. They actually have a pink belt program, which is super cool. I'm going to end this video with, though I was trying to put every single self-defense and safety tip I could think of in here, I didn't get to touch on mental health safety, which is so important. There are plenty of van lifers who actually really struggle with the loneliness of the road. So taking care of yourself and your mental health is super important. Number 2 is social media safety. It is so important knowing, like, for example, your name's online. Is your family's address online? Are you posting where you're at online? What kind of information are you putting out there for people to see and be able to, learn about your vehicle? Are you putting your whole safety routine online? That's why I loved making this video. I think it was really important, but I didn't put my exact safety routines on here for a reason. If you want to know them, DM me. We can talk. I want to have those kind of conversations, but I'm not going to put them out here on the internet for everyone. And number 3 is the awareness of the serious issue of domestic violence in van life. There have been far too many instances lately of van lifers literally being murdered by their significant other because of this is stressful, This is stressful for one person. Add someone else in this tight space, and that stress must skyrocket. I can't even imagine. So talk to your partner about, what will we do if we get in a fight? What will we do if I just need some space? Have those conversations now. Talk to other van lifers who are in a partner kind of relationship, living in a van, because that's not me. I don't feel like I'm really expertise to be giving advice on how to live with someone else in a van. But I really recommend talking to someone else in that situation about what they're doing, because it's clearly very important to be having those kind of conversations. All right, that's it. That is the video. We have made it to the end. I really hope that this video added a lot of value for you, and that you hopefully feel safer and more ready to start van life or to continue van life or whatever on your journey you are. If you have any more safety tips that I didn't mention, please write them in the comments. I'm going to link so many different things in the description that hopefully you'll be able to find things I talked about in this video, learn more, have a better little breakdown of this video, because I know it was long. But yeah, if you have any safety tips, please drop them in the comments, and we can create kind of like a thread, a community of being able to help people feel more safe in van life, which is so great. And I just want to say thank you again so much for coming to my channel, and I hope to see you again. I sat like that for so long that I literally don't feel my legs right now.